Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, August 25th. So the moon is going to be in Aries all day. This is going to bode very well for us. We're going to have a lot of energy inside of us and, of course, physically to work with, to exert outside of us. We have 11 different aspects taking place here today. 9 of them involve the moon in Aries. We are shifting out of that huge illumination, that huge mental plane energy of the full moon window. And now we're kind of getting into the attitude of gratitude. We are thankful for the new revelations. We are thankful for the new clarity. We are thankful for the new perspective. And now we have a direction to follow. Now we know where it is that we're aiming towards, what it is that we have to do in order to bridge the gap from where it is that we're at and where it is that we want to be. And this moon in Aries has us fired up, passionate, and aggressive in order to push through some of the emotional blockages and some of the physical challenges and blockages that we're facing in order to get things in order and get things in the right direction. Right out of the gate, we have the moon sextiling with the true node. This is almost as if in a dream state, or if you wake up super early, it's as if we are downloaded with a new level of inspiration and passion in our dream state, in our unconscious, that is seeping over into the conscious mind. This is kind of illuminating for us where it is that we want to be. There's been a lot of disruption, a lot of questions, a lot of new details emerge that has created a lot of confusion and skewed our picture of our dream, of our vision, of the new reality that we want to move into, has skewed it enough to create a lot of indecision, a lot of confusion. It's almost as if we're downloaded with the confidence, with the optimism, with the aggression, with the passion that we need in order to hold that vision very strong and actually do something about it in our physical realms, to align with the path, to say to the universe, I'm on the right path, I'm making some efforts, here, watch me go. The beautiful thing is that the moon in Aries actually makes this aspect with Pluto, the god of the underworld, right after this aha moment, this epiphany, this download of confidence and aggression in order to push through and actually grow ourselves out of our comfort zones to where it is that we got a little bit illuminated yesterday, where it is that we got too comfortable, where it is that we got too attached to staying to the old, and recognizing, of course, where it is that we have to be a little bit more aggressive, opening up to new ideas and opening up to new ways of doing things if we want a different result. So the moon in Aries bumping into Pluto here is a huge emotional transformation where we recognize the pain, the trauma of the past, the attachments of the past, the fears, the insecurities that come up when we think about moving forward, and the negative Nancy comes in and talks us out of wanting to actually make a move forward. This is almost like we choose to fuel the fire in spite of all the reasons of why we can't. This is a boss up. This is where we level up in our emotions, in our mental plane. We have that moon in Aries really firing us up. Again, there's a very thin line between passion and anger. So we want to recognize that we do have the ability to go full extreme into anger, but also anger is a beautiful fuel for us to make changes with. So as long as it's done in a controlled fashion, we're actually going to see a huge leap in growth and in productivity in our physical waking days in order to take action and align with the things that need to be done in order to actually bring our new vision to life. The moon in Aries makes this aspect with the sun in Virgo. And we talked about this, I think, yesterday when, we talked about the elements between Aries, which is fire, and Virgo, which is earth. And what can happen when you add too much fire to the earth, the whole forest can burn down. But when it's a controlled fire, you can actually, create a lot of beautiful opportunities to clear out, the old dead terrain and to keep the fire going, to provide us with light and warmth and basically an opportunity to fuel ourselves with cooking food over that fire. I like to give you all a visual because it definitely helped me in understanding how these energies work together. And that is a beautiful kind of analogy on how fire and earth work together or against each other. The moon in Aries makes this aspect with the sun in Virgo, and this is definitely using fuel as fire to see progress. We are aggressive. We are emotionally confident, emotionally fueled up, passionate, slightly a little bit angry with our situation because, of course, being angry and frustrated invokes change, and that's exactly what we need right now. And we're actually being encouraged to take a move forward, to take a baby step forward. Again, the sun in Virgo is illuminating for us what kind of needs to be put in its place, what needs a little bit more organization in our physical realms, what needs a little bit more fine tuning, a little bit more thought out process when it comes to taking action. But realistically, right now, we are able to take a move forward because we've been thinking about it. We've had Mercury in Virgo now for a couple of weeks. And now we've kind of done the bulk of the thinking. We've done the bulk of analyzing. We're asking the right questions. We're getting the right answers, but we were kind of stalled out in taking action. So we do see a little bit of an opportunity to take a baby step forward, which is a good thing. The moon in Aries sextiles Saturn, the Lord of Karma, asking us to really boss up. We got this. We're confident about this. We're aggressive about the changes that we're making. We're passionate about the changes that we're making. We're excited for the realities that could be if we get out of our own way and if we put really all of our energy and attention into building a strong enough foundation for us to build this new dream and vision off of. So this is a good interaction with Saturn for a change. Negative Nancy is nowhere to be seen. Instead, we have pep talk Penny coming out and really bossing us up, showing us where it is that we have control, showing us what it is that is possible as long as our mind and our heart are in the right space. But as I spoke about in the Ascension Symptom episode, just when we get clarity, just when we get confident, just when we take one step forward, you best believe the dark forces are going to interrupt our game and try to make us take a step back. The moon in Aries sits across from Venus, who is in her place of power in Libra. Aries and Libra sit across from one another in the chart, in the cosmos. Aries, of course, is me. What do I want? What do I need? What do I desire? And very aggressive, doesn't stop really to think about things, would rather act first and think later. And you have this Libran energy, which could care less about the me, is more concerned about the us, the we, the group, is willing to sacrifice our own wants, needs, and desires individually in order to make other people happy. So we see this inner conflict coming up because emotionally, now we don't know what we want from our relationships. We know what we want as far as the big grand picture goes, but some of the relationships that we're currently pouring into, they don't fit in to that visual. They don't fit into that dream. We would like for them to fit into that dream, but we know that it's unrealistic because there's too many things blocking that situation. It's like a dreamland fantasy to think that we could take some of the relationships that currently aren't really the strongest, aren't really working for us now, and plop them into this dreamlike vision that we're having and then expect it to work. So this particular aspect between the moon in Aries and Venus in Libra, it's going to bring up a lot of indecision. It's going to bring up a lot of questions around what it is that we actually want, what it is we actually need, especially emotionally from the people that we're connected with. It's going to illuminate for us where it is that we're overly attached to these certain people, even though we know that they're probably not the right people to support us and encourage us in kind of getting the great grand vision that we desire into manifestation. There's a lot of push and pull because individually we feel like we have more power to get things done and to actually make things happen. And then when we consider who it is that we have to take along with us, some of them appear to be dead weight, blocking our dreams, blocking our energy, blocking our power to actually recreate a reality that is more in alignment with our soul's purpose. So we kind of get knocked off of our game here, and the moon in Aries goes ahead and makes an aspect with Jupiter. And as we talked about yesterday, sometimes when we think about the great grand vision, when we think about what we want more of in our life, it becomes overwhelming. Not because, we're so fixated on how big and how beautiful and how positive the dream could be, but it illuminates for us what it is that we don't currently have, what isn't working. So we get fixated on, well, I want more of a connection. I want more emotional support. I want more of a balance, more of a fair energy exchange in my relationships. And then you recognize, oh my goodness, I don't have any of that in my relationships right now. Why am I still pouring into these people? So this is really going to trigger us. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a trigger. It is setting us up for the moon in Aries coming up to, sitting next to Chiron, who is also in Aries. And as you know, Chiron is retro, basically stripping us down of our ego and our identity wounds. And that's not easy. That's not even been slightly easy pill for any of us to swallow. But in consideration now of the energy that just got illuminated to us, where it is that we feel more powerful alone, where it is that we are lacking so much connection and intimacy and support and encouragement in our relationships, now we're getting a little bit kerfuffled. Now we're like, oh my goodness, all of my attachment and ego wounds are tied into this person. Or I have been with this person so long that they're a part of my identity. And who am I without this person? Even if this person isn't the right person for me, who am I without this person? So now we're starting to spiral. But we have a beautiful ability right now to step out of ego, which is going to be very hard because the Aryan energy is all about creating the ego, creating the identity, creating the survival patterns, techniques, perspectives that we need in order to get through life. Now we have a choice where if we're able to step out and identify, hey, this is an ego attachment, this is a trauma bond, this is a pain bond, this person I have given permission to act as a roadblock in my personal path and in my personal success, we have the ability to heal this. We have the ability to be aggressive right now, to be passionate right now, to align with a higher meaning, a higher purpose, the higher dream, the higher vision that we want for ourselves, to make it easier to connect the dots on what has to be let go of, who has to be let go of, in order for us to push forward, in order for us to actually gain progress on our path, moving closer to the dream and to the vision. Now, is this going to feel good? Nope. Is it supposed to feel good? Absolutely not. This is the darker forces triggering us out of that beautiful moment of clarity earlier in order for us to consider where it is that more change, more transformation can be made. Now, Mercury is going to be making an aspect with Saturn. Mercury is in Virgo, very, very analytical, criticizing everything, judging everything. High discernment comes with this particular energy because we have to figure out what it is that we're working with. And that Saturn energy, the Lord of Karma, usually negative Nancy, we're being highlighted to where it is that we're stuck in certain processes of thinking, certain narratives of thinking. We are kind of lacking confidence in our greater, grander vision because it's not practical, it's not logical right now, it's just a dream, it's fluff. And Mercury in Virgo doesn't deal with fluff. We deal with tangible facts, tangible ideas, practical and logical ways of thinking and processing and creating order where there is chaos. And right now, the chaos is in our emotions and in our mental plane. This particular aspect between Mercury and Saturn is going to give us an opportunity to illuminate where it is that our thinking is breaking us down and not providing us with an opportunity to break through. It is also providing us with an opportunity to get our shit together, to get our mental order back in control. We lost it there for a little minute. We're not going to feed into it because we're acting as the observer a lot faster, a lot quicker now. We're able to say, oh, whoa, I'm about to spiral. What's going on here? We step outside of the situation, outside of our bodies, and then we're like, oh, damn. We see that the fear, the attachment to the old is creeping back in, trying to keep us in a holding pattern. And what do we want? Well, we don't want that. We want to move forward. So in order to do that, we got to get a grip. And Mercury bumping into Saturn right now is going to give us the opportunity to get a grip. Venus goes ahead though. She's in Libra. She's in her place of power in Libra. She goes ahead and bumps into Jupiter. And of course, Jupiter wants us to grow and expand outside of our comfort zones, outside of where it is that we're currently at. And this is going to add a little bit of a kerfuffle in the play because, as you know earlier, we got illuminated to where some of the relationships that we're pouring into are actually blocking us from truly aligning with the path, with the dream, with the vision that we're trying to manifest. We just spiraled out of control. Now we got a grip on our mental plane. What are we going to do with it? Well, Venus in Libra wants to find balance, wants to find peace, wants to find harmony, just wants to love. Jupiter, of course, turning the volume all the way up on that, has a tendency, and let me be very clear here. Let's slow down. Let's take a breath. Has a tendency for us to grasp at straws. And here's what I mean by that. We know we want more from the relationships, from the people that we love, from our life. We know where it is that our relationship energy exchange is failing to live up to what it is that we want, need, and desire in a partner that is going to support us and fit into the cookie cutter dream and vision that we're currently trying to manifest. We can become a little bit desperate here. And Venus in Libra, she just wants everybody to be happy. And she's willing to do things and willing to sacrifice her own wants, needs, and desires to make other people happy. And she thinks that doing this is going to make us happy. But what we find is that we begin to overstate our emotions. We begin to dive into such unrealistic expectations of ourselves, of other people, that we begin to lie and delude ourselves into thinking that everything is fine, everything is okay, everything is going to work out. Now, as confident as that may be, sometimes we do need a pep talk. Sometimes that may be true. Other times, it creates a situation where we're going to be hella disappointed because we're not being realistic. It creates a situation where we ignore the red flags that we just became illuminated to in our personal relationships where our wants, needs, and desires aren't being met. It puts an emphasis on what it is we want more of, not realizing that that is falling in love with potential, not with the actual situation, not with the actual person. Yes, everyone has potential, but you don't commit to somebody because of their potential. You commit to them because of what it is that they are in this moment, what it is they can provide in this moment, the connection that you have in this moment, not what has potential to be. So this could be a very shaky aspect for us. And let me tell you, moving into the next couple of months as we wrap up 2021, you best believe there are going to be some relationships that have been built on lies, betrayal, and illusions that absolutely crumble, especially when Venus goes ahead and she moves into Scorpio. I won't get ahead of myself, but we have some serious aspects coming up over the next couple of months. Those of us that have been desperately holding on to relationships because our identity is so entrenched in these people, if they are not authentic in alignment to our heart and soul's purpose, to the divine script and plan that we've agreed to, you best believe they will be pulled away from us. This is the first indicator to not allow your lies, your delusions to override the truth. This is a perfect opportunity with this Virgo energy to get down to the nitty gritty and analyze the F out of your attachments to these relationships that have not been pouring into you. The moon in Aries is going to bump into Uranus, and this is going to trigger a lot of chaos in the mental plane. We are going to realize where it is that we're acting out of desperation. We're acting out of attachment. We're acting out of the want, need, and desire to hold on to the old, even though we've been praying for the new. This is going to put a lot of pressure in our mental planes to come up with a new idea, a new perspective, a new path forward where we can essentially feel good about bringing the heavy baggage that are some of our relationships into this light and fluffy dream-like vision that we've been working so hard to actually hold on to and manifest. Again, may I remind you, it is an illusion that we have created to prevent ourselves from having to make some dramatic decisions that we are not prepared to make just yet. But it is going to be the first of many red flags that we are given over the next couple of months. The moon in Aries goes ahead and bumps into Mars, and Mars naturally rules over Aryan energy, so you best believe that this is a powerful aspect. But Mars, as you know, is in Virgo, frustrated as hell because he's not allowed to move as fast as he would like. He's not allowed to act now and think about the consequences later. Instead, he's only given permission to act out on the feelings that he has when it is strategic, when it is calculated, when it is positioned in alignment to show our growth. Now, here's the thing. As you can tell, things have gotten a little bit choppy as the day has gone on. A lot of things have been stirred and triggered into us. And what happens? Well, Mars gets a little bit angry. He gets a little bit moody. He gets a little bit irritated. If we act out on our emotions now, you best believe that we are going to create a mess. If we are highly intelligent enough to act as the observer, which many of us are becoming more and more frequently practiced in, we can step out of this energy before we create a mess, before we create pain and drama, before we act out of our ego, and we can funnel it into an activity that does some good. What activity could be good? Cleaning, organizing, getting our environments in tip-top shape, getting rid of the old stuff, the old things that we need to purge in our physical environment in order to make way for the new that is coming with the new realities and perspectives that are just around the corner. We're not going to leave the day on a high note. Again, the darker forces kick in and really stir things up in us in order to keep us stagnant in our pain pattern and in our pain bonds.